You guys know what time it is. Get strapped in and ready for some good times. This is the Blowed Out Podcast. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is I, your Fetty with a Natty, believe it or not, coming to you live. Well, not live. I always say live. But coming to you from the new studio/office. And it's honestly a little weird. It's been a very long time in the making. Lots of setbacks, even as I sit here now. It's weird. Couple of things I'm going to have to work through, but no big deal. Just some minor stuff, some table issues. It still kind of sounds echoey to me, but I think it's just because I'm not used to being in a room, in a dedicated space, and I can hear the snow and the rain outside the window. I don't think that's coming through. It shouldn't be a problem, but I'm sitting here overthinking it like I do everything. Anyhow, how's everybody's week? Hopefully everyone was marked safe from being torpedoed. Christ. Well, if last week wasn't a doozy, this week sure should be, huh? Man, what a crazy week, guys, right? All this stuff going on across the pond. Hope all of you guys are safe and sound. It should be, well, it's going to be what it is, but hopefully it is swift and works out for the best. That's about all you can say, because other than, obviously ideally liberating the Iranian folks from their dirtbag regime, I guess theoretically there will be a lot of good outcomes from it, right? Theoretically. It sounds like we have no plans on going boots on the ground, which is a good thing. And I guess being in aerospace, it keeps a lot of folks in business when we're just blowing shit up left and right with stockpiles. I don't know. I'm on the fence about all of it. I'm not upset that he didn't get Jasmine Crockett and AOC's approval. Because sadly, what you would think they knew is that he didn't need their approval. So there is that. Some of us are just naturally smart enough to have seen the writing on the wall and knew it was coming. I don't know what those two and Grandma Maxine were busy doing that they somehow didn't see this coming, but whatever. Is what it is, right? On to another week. Like I said, hopefully it'll be swift. Especially when it comes down to dollars and cents, because I don't think we have any to give or to spend, but again, we're just going to have to ride it out and see how things go. And again, I apologize, I'm looking at the meters, so everything is really sensitive now that I'm in this smaller room, so I hope it pans out well. Don't get mad at me if it isn't. Actually, email me and tell me it. Just anything. Chrysler. Fun fact. One of the reasons, and I could be late to the party on this, but one of the reasons he didn't have to ask, and none of them have asked for congressional approval, is because none of them have declared war. The fun fact is the last declaration of war by the U.S. was in June of 1942. So, technically, this isn't a war. Technically, the last one wasn't. Now, have seen a few things that say that they rectified some of that or changed some of that during Vietnam. But in all fairness, I didn't do a whole lot of prep for this show, so I could be wrong. But the last declaration of war part still stands, and they can just boo-hoo all they want. The, Great Eight, or, Hateful Eight, or whatever they call them, the eight, standing powers of Congress are the only ones that have to be notified, not all the other members. So, she can just add that to the list of things she's crying about on top of losing Texas. Now, in all fairness, I was going to do some more homework into it, and again, I apologize, so I will do some more homework into it. Apparently, the guy that old Crockett just lost the nomination, I guess, might not be the best guy for the job either. Again, I don't know. I could be speaking out of my ass on that one. Ass? Well, but I do that often, so I don't think that's anything new. Again, time will tell. I realize I should be a little bit more up to speed on things, but we have entered the phase of first spring in Utah, and the barometric roller coaster is putting the hurts on the old fatty. So I'm struggling pretty good just to be upright and functioning. I made it a point to go ahead and do this episode for you guys because I was really not feeling it. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying. I don't ever want to get to that point, and it's not for any reason other than it just hurts, and I would like to climb under the covers for 10 or 12 hours until I have to force myself to do it again tomorrow. But we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. It comes twice a year whether I like it or not. Speaking of things that don't happen all too often, and circling back, did you guys know that we have not, sunk a ship, possibly even fired on a manned, I suppose, target would be the correct terminology there, from a submarine since World War II? That's actually wild. I mean, obviously, I would never advocate for the loss of life, but that's wild shit. When, some of us grew up with stuff like Hunt for Red October and all these crazy submarine movies, none of those have actually been used since World War II? Damn. I wonder if they had to, I wonder if it was like a muzzleloader and they had to, throw a primer through it first to blow all the cobwebs and, barnacles and shit out of the tube before it would safely fire. Huh. Now I'm going to have to Google that. Things that make you go, Speaking of muzzleloaders, apparently the Utah Department of Wildlife Resources, I guess, maybe Natural Resources, just announced that chronic wasting disease seems to be getting worse and spreading across the state. I realize that doesn't affect many of you guys, but that's really going to break my heart if I now have to worry about where I get my elk meat, or if it's going to drastically affect the hunt, because that's never good. And if and when all this shit hits the fan, so to speak, I would like to know that whatever deer or elk I go out and find to put in my fat belly isn't going to be tainted. So, interesting side note, I guess. This episode's just full of interesting side notes, isn't it? It is episode 76, though. the first episode of Season 4 for 2026. Who'd have ever thought that it would make it this far? And the numbers just keep increasing. So welcome to all the new listeners, and thank you, to everyone who has spread the word and keep on giving us likes and follows. It's wild. Every time I open the analytics software, it just blows my mind. We just keep on a-trucking. We are... Lord, we're going to be at staggering numbers before you know it. I'm pretty stoked about it. It's still, it still leaves me broke and damn near homeless, but I've got a third row seat, so technically I've got an extra bedroom in the car. We still have room to grow. I have figured out that one of the bonuses in this new space with all the sound deadening is that I can sit here and hear when the dryer is done running, because instead of being up to par on this episode, I had to do the adult stuff, do some laundry and dishes and vacuum and all that other junk. Ugh. It's awful. Awful. Also, why I really don't feel that bad that I don't have 3,000 square feet to deal with anymore. I still had time to mess with all this stuff. But on that note, I do need to go change the laundry and check on the old engineer dog. So we will be back after a short break, guys. Hey folks, Ryan here, aka the Fatty with a Natty. Are you a business owner or marketing director looking to explore advertising on the Blowed Out podcast? As we prepare to enter our 4th season, we've gained a listening audience in over 125 cities spread across 21 countries worldwide. That includes a very large listening base right here in northern Utah. To find out how we can help your business grow or to discuss pricing and frequency options, email us at blowedoutpodcast@gmail.com and be sure to include marketing in the subject line. Again, that's blowedoutpodcast@gmail.com, subject marketing. And just like that, we're back. I mentioned in previous episodes the hate and names and everything else I've been called because I wasn't willing to immediately jump on board with any of the folks who may have appeared in the Epstein files, because I've been accused of things that weren't actually true. Interestingly enough, there was just an Ogden City police officer, and this, of course, holds more to northern Utah than everyone else. But he was a resource officer. That might be the wrong term. He was the cop that was at the school. So, yeah, I think resource officer. But at Ogden High School, where I graduated from, that was convicted, this is recently, on child stuff. We'll leave it at that. I believe it was really bad. And there is a judge who is kind of known for her, well, I don't know. I've had some dealings with her on dumb stuff. She used to be a commissioner, so I've had some dealings with her on dumb stuff like medical bill stuff. Like the the recovery company coming after me, and I had to justify the bill and things like that when she was a commissioner. But she just recently commuted his sentence from like 45 years for whatever horrific acts he did to a child to 30 days. Yeah, I paused to let that sink in real hard for a minute, because there isn't but about a dozen people up in arms about this yet. Now, maybe it's too soon. I don't know. But for all the folks, especially in the local social media scene, that are so ate up about pedophiles this and pedophiles that, and you guys know my stand on it. I've made that perfectly clear. Why is no one losing their minds about this? He was a resource officer at a local school and got like 30 days and an ankle bracelet for, again, what I believe, and I could have my facts wrong, but I believe like child rape. What kind of planet are we living on? Is this just proof that everyone is so ate up with what's going on a larger scale that they're overlooking this? Is this literally a case of stepping over a dollar to pick up a dime? How in the hell is this not just through the roof blown up? And I, for one, am mad about it, and I will make a stand. Why this happened, a statement as to why this happened, should be submitted immediately with her resignation her letter, not later. And I will go ahead and name her. Judge Conklin, because this is a huge problem, and this is just being glossed over. What in the hell is actually going on, guys? I realize, again, I try to keep things on a grander scale than just northern Utah, but this is a big-ass problem, and everyone wants to be so wrapped up in the larger scale of things. You need to look in your backyards real hard. It's these kind of things that continue to blow my mind. And again, we've talked about it a bunch of times. Everyone is so quick, again, to step over a dollar looking at a shiny dime. Why? Why is that the case, do you think? I would love some insight. Everyone is so concerned with the bigger picture that they're completely glossing over or just not even paying attention to what's going on in their own backyards. I can't make heads or tails of it. Can you? If you can, please let me know. I would love some insight. But I believe it's just proof that there is a huge bandwagon mentality that is being, I don't know. I don't even know. I guess indoctrinated, perhaps. Pay attention to all these bad guys, but don't pay attention to those bad guys. I can't make heads or tails of that. And again, I don't understand what's going on. And granted, I know this doesn't speak for all of us, but it really seems to be a problem. And again, it ties back to social media or mainstream media. But when are the masses going to wake up and see all of these things for the bigger picture, not the big picture? Did that make sense, I hope? Like, there are a lot more things going on than just what someone perceives is the big picture. there is a much bigger picture to be had. And I can't be the only one that thinks this, right? Honestly, it's maddening when you continue to see these things happening on a daily basis that they, and by they, I mean all government officials, are sneaking and sliding these things in right under our nose because we're way too preoccupied with what we think is the big issue of the moment. And the sooner that everyone realizes that, the better off we'll be. I just saw some statistics, some figures from the first day of this epic fury, and everybody's losing their minds about the cost. Well, it's $770, I think it said, $1 million for the first day of this strike on Iran. That is 0.1% of the projected military budget for the year. Which that I understand and agree is gross in and of itself, but it pales in comparison to what it could be or what everything else is. And again, that's my point is we're so worried, I guess, in some dumb way, we're really worried about the flat tire when in fact the engine has blown up while we were changing the spare tire, but we were so focused on changing the spare tire that we didn't realize that we had much bigger problems on our hands. And that is where we need to focus. We still have hundreds of millions of dollars missing. I believe the number is even larger than that in fraud, just flat fraud. Not to mention the waste and abuse part of fraud, waste, and abuse. Like this, it's not a sustainable business model. And at some point, we have to try and reel this monster in. Granted, it's probably a bad time to try and do that, but we also can't lose sight of the bigger picture while worrying about this single thing. This single thing will be fine. I heard someone earlier this evening, or I guess last evening now, saying that they were concerned about air superiority and what if they invade us and all these things. Well, first of all, that's never going to happen. And I probably have spoken about this at some point in the past, but in order for any of those countries, like Iran, for instance, to invade us, it's literally impossible for them. They would have to team up with a real powerhouse, and there's only two of those other than us, so Russia or China. And the really cool thing is that no matter what we do or how we do it, we will never sacrifice air superiority. So by that, and having a little bit of background and insight to this, there are some really cool Sukhoi airplanes. There are some really cool Antonov airplanes. Airbus makes some really cool stuff now. And a lot of people go, oh, well, I just saw that they shot down an F-16 that was, or an F-14 or an F whatever that was from Iran or Iraq or Syria or Yemen or any of these people who hate us with every ounce of their fiber. That's true. But one thing that we do is when we sell aircraft, and this is I'm not giving away any big government secrets here. I'm not going to be on any more of a list than I already am by saying these things, but the one cool thing we do is, yes, we'll sell you an F-16 or an F-4 or an F-14 or any of these old platforms that are still really great airplanes that used to be like, one of our top dogs. Yes, we'll sell you those to anyone who wants to buy one, essentially. But what we won't do is sell you the King Ranch version or the Denali or the TRD or however you want to call it. You get the stripped down base model. No power windows, no air conditioning. Better yet, and this is the most important part, no GPS. Like no Super Wookiee avionics packages. You can buy, like I said, an F4 or an F-16 or an F-14, and they're a really great, albeit older, airframe with lots of capabilities. But when you get them and they have like Windows 95, then you still have to figure out what to do with that. Are they fast? Sure. Will they carry bombs and missiles? You betcha. But Windows 95 pales in comparison to, say, Windows 11 as a analogy. We don't allow our avionics packages, meaning radar and all the cool stuff that we have, we don't give that stuff away. We don't sell it. We don't even let people know what it is. So even if you have a pretty decent airframe, like I said, there's some really cool Sukhois out there that Iran has, and China, and Russia. However, other than just like being fast, they still can't do what our stuff can. And we have a ton of cool stuff and a lot more of it. So, all of these small countries, and granted, Iran isn't a small country, but in order for them to even attempt to attack us here, stateside, they would have to partner with either one of the other two powerhouses that has even the capability of reaching us, or they would have to band like 10 or 12 of them together and then try. But by that point, we already know, and we are already doing what we are doing now. What we are doing now is avoiding a future issue by eliminating any possibility of them ever having the ability to reach us. So, anyone who is really super worked up, and again, I know I have to try and speak as if it's a global audience. That part is easy to forget, and not you guys. I appreciate and love every one of you, but it's easy for me to speak as though it's just sitting here in northern Utah. But a lot of folks here in northern Utah that presumably are either new or younger to the area are super worried and losing sleep over the fact that we are right next to a major base, and that could possibly include us in some sort of attack. Well, unfortunately, that's true. I have known all of my 50 years that this base, Hill Air Force Base, is in the top 10, if not top 5, of initial targets by an adversary. That being said, I also know that the likelihood is very slim, first of all. Second of all, the likelihood that it would make it to us, even if it got launched, we have counter-strike measures. We have so much cool stuff. It's still a possibility, yes, but pretty unlikely. But it's strange to me that all these either younger folk or newer folk to the area or to somewhere near a major base that is a target. I mean, there's a lot of bases. Not all of them are targets. It's still strange to me. But, again, for the most part, Iran specifically can't really reach a whole lot of folks. Like Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, the couple of places that they have managed to send off a bottle rocket to. I'm sorry if you're in one of those places. I'm sorry if you're in an area that feels threatened because of your proximity to that neck of the woods. I hope you're safe. I'm sorry. I hope that you are able to sleep well at night. Just know that should be neutralized very soon. But as far as stateside, I don't know. Honestly, we couldn't probably be much safer than we are regarding an air attack or even boots on the ground. Sadly, the scary part about boots on the ground is from within. Sleeper cells, all these kind of crazy things. People are crazy, guys. We all know this. We've talked about it for a long time. Just another reason to keep your heads on a swivel. I mean, at this point, you guys know that. I've advocated it. I know you all will. But as far as air, stateside, we're going to be just fine. It's not outside the realm of possibility. It's just not within the realm of probability. And that being said, I don't think that I should have to preface any of that with maybe don't let your kids listen right before bedtime. Because my purpose or my words are certainly not meant to scare anyone. I think we're going to be just fine. Pretty much for the most part, all of us. Certainly anyone listening, hopefully. At least I hope so. I genuinely do. But enough doom and gloom for 1 week, guys. Like I said, hope everyone is doing well. Chrysler, man, I am falling apart right here at the end. Let's, again, keep our heads on a swivel. Stay safe. Try and be good and love one another. We will see what next week holds. Right, guys? Okay, kids. In the meantime, we'll talk to you soon. You know where to find us and reach out. blowedoutpodcast@gmail.com. And until then, love you guys. Cheers.